Do not touch. There's a sign. Our screen says, don't even think about touching. Do not touch. Going forth, do not touch. See that sign on things are wet paint, when things are breakable, when things are going forth, you have the do not touch sign going forth. Remember going in stores when things were going into the glass section of the store, being told by Mom and Dad, do not touch, don't touch anything going forth. Didn't want to end up broken, didn't want to end up paying for something breaking. Going forth, do not touch. Going forth, do not touch the wet paint, do not touch this thing, it's breakable, do not touch this area, it's expensive or it's an antique or those things going forth, do not touch. Thing going forth. Having a sermon titled Do Not Touch, I could be going many different directions in the Bible. Do not touch things that are unholy. Do not touch things that will make you sick. Do not touch dead items going through the Old Testament. Do not touch these things. Do not touch those things. Do not touch things that are unholy. Do not touch the Ark of the Covenant. Another thing going forth when he touched the Ark of the Covenant and died when it was tipping on the cart. Going forth, all the different areas of do not touch that were being stated throughout the Bible, but I'm going somewhere different. Going to Jesus in Luke chapter 5, verses 12 through 14. Jesus cleanses a leper this time. Cleansed a few lepers throughout the time period and going forth, but the story says he comes and cleanses a leper. It says that happened as it happened when he was in a certain city, that behold, a man who is full of leprosy saw Jesus, and he fell on his face and implored him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And then he put out his hand and touched him and said, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately the leprosy left him. He charged him to tell no one, but go show yourself to the priest and make an offering for your cleansing as a testimony to them, just as Moses commanded. And going along with the unclean, and make Chris's job easy today, he'll do my 2 verses at once. Going forth, Leviticus 13:46 in the law of the priests, and the priest had to judge whether they were clean or unclean with leprosy. Without going through the whole 2 chapters of it, it says, he shall be unclean all the days that he has a sore, he shall be unclean. He is unclean, and he shall dwell alone, and his dwelling shall be outside of the camp. Leprosy was a contagious skin disease. Going forth, contagious skin, so the priest checked the scab, checked the skin, checked the white area of the skin to see if it was clean or unclean, whether it was leprosy or whether it was a burn mark, to see it was leprosy or a scab going forth, to make the judgment going forth. But if it was leprosy, they were banned to be outside of the city, to be outside of the camp, to live outside the area, and to yell that we're unclean, don't come close, don't come near, don't come anywhere near me, we have leprosy, stay away, stay far away from me, stay a distance from me. And they were supposed to stay excluded in their own camp. Going forth, they were supposed to stay far away from any people, and if anybody did come near, to yell out to them that they were unclean, that they were unclean with the leprosy. You don't want to catch this. You don't want to be near me. Stay away from these things. Stay away from the camp. Stay away from this area because I have leprosy, and leprosy would eat away at their skin and their body parts and their fingers and their noses as their thing get to the point where it would die so much that the fingers would fall off or nose would deteriorate and come off or whatever was happening, but horrible skin disease going forth. So he had to state that they had to state that they were unclean and live in the caves and live in the hills and live in separate areas away from the people, apart from the road. Cleanses this leper, what does Luke say? It says it happened when he was in a certain city, that behold, the man who was full of leprosy saw Jesus, and he fell on his face and implored him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Happened when Jesus was in a certain city, but the leper knew he was there. The leper went against the law, the leper went against the regulations, the leper went against the things that seemed what he was supposed to do, what he was supposed to be in a normal routine, supposed to be in a normal thing, supposed to be in a normal situation. He was supposed to be separate. He was supposed to be apart from everybody. He was supposed to stay far away from all the people. Well, it says, well, Jesus was in a certain city that behold, the man full of leprosy saw Jesus. This leprous man knew Jesus was in that city, knew that he was there, knew that Jesus could heal him, knew that Jesus could touch him, knew that Jesus was there, and knew that if Jesus was willing, he could make him clean. He didn't stay apart from the people. He didn't stay the distance from the people. He didn't stay far away. He needed to get to Jesus. He needed to get to him, so he did what was required. He did what was against the law. He did what was against things going forth. He did what was against everybody's situation and plan. And he came into the midst of the city and saw Jesus, and he fell on his face and implored him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. He came to Jesus no matter what it took. He came to Jesus no matter what he was going against. He came to Jesus no matter what was happening, no matter what was going forth, no matter what they were in the midst of. He made sure he got to Jesus. And we have to follow the laws of the land. We have to follow the laws of the people going forth up till it comes to a point where it hinders our worship or our praise going forth to God. Then we have to make the decision to come and worship the Lord anyways going forth. Normal laws we have to follow, but this man is willing to break the law to get to Jesus coming forth. Churches have their tradition, churches have their plans, churches have their normal things that they do, and you can't step outside their routine, can't step outside their plans and their situations, but sometimes we have to step out to get to Jesus. Step out of the routine, step out of the normalcy, step out of the laws that have been said for years and years on end going forth. They are put in situations, but you need to get to Jesus. You need to get to him. You need to do what it takes. You need to do whatever it takes to get to him and cry out to him to come forth, to come into his presence and come and receive his healing, come and receive his peace, come and receive what he has for you, come and receive that love and that forgiveness and that blessing and that peace and that presence that he has for you. You have to do whatever it takes to get to Jesus. He came into a city where he wasn't supposed to be. He came to Jesus and fell on his face and implored him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Verse 13 says, then Jesus, speaking of Jesus, then he put out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately the leprosy left him. So Jesus puts out his hand and touches the leper, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately the leprosy left him. Jesus did what was unthinkable. Jesus did what was against the ordinary. Jesus did what was nobody else would do. He reached out his hand and he touched him. Going forth, leprosy, I said, was contagious. Going forth, you didn't touch a leper. You didn't come near them. You didn't touch them going forth. So this man wouldn't had anyone touch him for a long time going forth. But Jesus touched him while he was still unclean, while he was still full of leprosy, while he was still full of this leprosy going forth. So Jesus put out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. And one thing that one part says, then he put out his hand, Jesus put out his hand and touched him. Normally four Gospels, Gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, tell the story in a little different situation, tell the story in a little different way. They have different things. You go to four other people, ask them the story of the same situation, you get four slightly different stories because they see it in different ways, tell it in different ways going forth. But you look up the four Gospels with this leper, they all have the same phrase. It says Jesus put out his hand and touched him. They were amazed. They all have that same sentence going forth in three of the Gospels. John didn't have it in there. But Matthew, Mark, and Luke all have the same phrase. Jesus put out his hand and touched him. They were amazed that Jesus touched him. They were amazed that Jesus touched this leper. It was an amazing thing, I'm sure, for them. And it stuck in their minds going forth that Jesus actually touched this leper and cleansed him. Why did Jesus touch him? He could have said the word. He could have said, be clean, and he would have been made clean. He would have said, he said to the other 10 lepers, go show yourself to the priest. And they were cleansed while they were going to show themselves to the priest. They were cleansed on their journey going there. And the one returned to give him praise. Jesus cleansed many lepers. But this man, he said he put out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. This man needed a touch from the Lord. This man needed a touch from God's presence. Jesus needed a touch from a human being. However long he had leprosy, nobody had touched him. Nobody had come near him. Nobody had been near him. We don't know why, but maybe this man needed a physical touch from somebody, a physical touch of someone's love to show they cared, to show they weren't afraid of him, to show he wasn't excluded from everybody anymore. Jesus put out his hand and touched him and say, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately the leprosy left him. He wanted to touch what was untouchable. He wanted to touch what was untouchable in his life. He wanted to touch what was untouchable in the man's life going forth. He wanted to reach out and touch him and heal him and touch him and know that he cared, knew that he wasn't excluded from God's healing touch. He wasn't excluded from God's love. He wasn't excluded from God's presence going forth because of who he was. He reached out and touched the man. He touched what was untouchable. So the question this morning is, what is untouchable in your life? What's untouchable in your life that you're keeping outside the city, that you're keeping away from everybody, that you're not letting anybody see, that you're not letting anybody near, that you're not letting anybody come near, you're not letting anybody touch you, you're not letting anybody anywhere near it, stay away, you're not allowed to touch this. You're putting up the do not touch sign on your life, in the front of you. Do not touch the situation. Do not touch this area. It's too painful. Do not touch this thing that I don't want anybody to know about. Do not touch this thing that I have that I don't want anybody to see. Do not touch this area in my life. Do not touch going forth, and you keep it excluded outside the camp, away from every person, away from every other person, away from every other thing that comes near, every other thing that comes near, and somebody comes too close to it, somebody comes too close to that area, you say, no, stay away. Stay away, I don't want anybody touching this, I don't want anybody coming near me, I don't want anybody touching the situation in my life, it's too painful, it hurts too much, I don't want to bring it forth into the light, I don't want to bring it forth and show anybody, so stay away. But you have Jesus who's coming into your camp, Jesus who wants to touch it, Jesus who wants to touch that situation, Jesus who wants to touch that area in your life, Jesus who wants to touch that thing in your life going forth. He wants to touch you and heal that area, heal that thing, heal that pain in your life, heal that sickness, heal that sadness in your life, heal that thing that you've hidden away and you don't want anybody to be a part of, don't want anybody to see, don't want anybody to know. Jesus wants to touch that situation. Jesus wants to touch that area in your life. Jesus is stretching out his hand, going forth. Open up with the verse this morning in book of Isaiah, and judgment's going forth and his things going forth, but his hand is stretched out still. No matter what you're hiding from the Lord, no matter what you're hiding from God, no matter what you're hiding from him, his hand is stretched out still. He wants to touch that area in your life. He wants to touch it and make it clean. He wants to touch it and heal it going forth. Just need to open up, bring it to Jesus, bring it to him. So, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. You can remove this thing. You can remove this pain. You can remove this hurt. You can remove this situation in my life. You can remove this pain in your life. You can remove this painful item in my life, this painful situation. They'll say, And he put out his hand and touched him. He'll say, I am willing, be cleansed. Be clean of this situation. Be clean of this area in your life that you've hidden too long. Be clean of this area. Be clean of this situation in your life. Be clean, but bring it to Jesus. Bring it to him. He is willing to touch it. He is willing to reach others with it. He is willing to change the situation, that thing you've been carrying, that thing you've excluded. You don't need to be excluded anymore. You don't need to carry that weight anymore. You don't need to carry that pain. You don't need to carry that situation. You need to bring it to him. Lay it down at his feet. Lay it down at his hand and let him touch you. Let him touch that situation in your life. There's a story of Jesus coming over a person's house. Jesus comes over to a person's house and they said, let me give you a tour of the house. Let me show you around my house going forth, and had the house all clean because they knew Jesus was coming. So he comes and shows them, this is the living room. Beautiful living room, all clean and everything's nice, and the bedrooms, and this is the kitchen going forth, and this is the rec room area, and everything's beautiful in the house. And Jesus goes, okay, but what about that room? Oh, no, Jesus, you can't see that room. Nobody goes in that room. Nobody touches that room. Nobody goes in there. That door is locked all the time. That door is closed all the time. Nobody goes in there. Nobody goes near it. Nobody goes into that room. But Lord keeps saying, I want into that room. I want to see that room going forth. And finally they give in and open up the room. The room's full of pain. The room's full of hurt. The room's full of all the areas that are hidden in that room. Closed up, locked up, tight, sealed, going forth. And Jesus walks in and cleanses that room and makes it as new and as clean as the rest of the house. Jesus can cleanse our rooms. Jesus can cleanse that area. Jesus can heal that area that you've had locked away. Oh, the outside looks good. We're cleaned up. We're dressed up. We're normal routine for today. We've cleaned up in the morning. The whole outside looks good. Everything looks good. We're dressed up. But we have that one locked up room. We have that one locked up room in our lives, that one locked up area in our lives that Jesus wants to touch, that Jesus wants to heal, that Jesus wants to cleanse in our lives. We just need to open it up to Him. We need to unseal it and bring it to Him. Let Him touch it. Let Him change it. Let Him heal it. Let Him change our lives to where everything in our house, our physical house, our bodies is cleansed and changed by Him. Even those of us who've been in church for years and years in our lives, been saved, been cleansed, been forgiven, what are we still holding on to? What do we still have locked up? What do we still have sealed in our life? You need to let Jesus into it. Let Jesus cleanse it. Let Jesus change it. Going forth in our life, He's crying out, I am willing. Be cleansed. He's willing to touch it. He's willing to change it. He's willing to heal it. Bring it forth, but we need to bring it unto Him. We need to let Him heal it. Let Him change it. Let Him into that area of our lives and give us something new. Give us a new heart, a new life, a new peace, a new cleansing, a new presence, a new healing in our life. He is willing. Be cleansed. I thought of a story I hadn't heard in a long time. Going forth, I looked it up, and it fits with the sermon. It's a little lengthy, but it fits along with the story and everything going forth. Some have probably heard it going forth, but forgotten about it. It's the story of the ragman going forth. It's written by Walter Wengren Jr. Going forth. It still tells the story of the ragman. It says, even before the dawn one Friday morning, I noticed a young man, handsome and strong, walking the alleys of our city. He was pulling an old cart filled with clothes, both bright and new, and he was calling out in a clear tenor voice, "Rags, rags, new rags for old. I take your old dirty rag, old dirty tired rags. Rags, rags." Now this was a wonder, I thought to myself. The man stood 6 feet 4, and his arms were like tree limbs, hard and muscular. His eyes flashed love and wonderment. Couldn't he find no better job than this? To be a ragman in the inner city? I followed him. My curiosity drove me, and I wasn't disappointed. For what I was about to see was miraculous. Soon the ragman saw a woman sitting on her back porch. She was sobbing into her handkerchief, sighing and shedding 1,000 tears. Her knees and her elbows made a sad X, and her shoulders shook, and her heart was breaking. The ragman stopped his cart. Quietly he walked to the woman, stepped around the tin cans, dead toys, and baby diapers. "Give me your rag," he said gently, "and I'll give you another." He slipped a handkerchief from her eyes. She looked up, and he laid across her palm a linen cloth, so clean and new that it shined. She blinked from the gift to the giver. Then he began to pull his cart again, and the ragman did a strange thing. He put her strained handkerchief to his own face, and he began to weep, to sob as grievously as she had done. His shoulders were shaking vigorously, yet she was left without a tear. "This is a wonder," I breathed to myself, and I followed the sobbing ragman like a child who cannot turn away from a mystery. Rags, rags, new rags for old. In a little while the sky showed a gray behind the rooftops, and I could see the shredded curtains hanging out black windows, the ragman came upon a girl whose head was wrapped in a bandage and whose eyes were empty. Blood soaked her bandage, and a single line of blood ran down her cheek. Now the ragman, full of compassion, looked up upon this child with pity as he drew a lovely yellow bonnet from his cart. "Give me your rag," he said, tracing his own line down her cheek, "and I'll give you mine." The child could only gaze at him while he loosened the bandage, removed it, and tied it to his own head. While placing the bonnet upon her, I gasped at what I saw. For with the bandage went the wound. Against his brow ran darker, more substantial blood, his own. "Rags, rags, I take old rags," cried the sobbing, bleeding, strong ragman. The sun hurt both the sky now and my eyes. The sun hurt both the sky now and my eyes. The ragman seemed even more in a hurry. Are you going to work? He asked the man who leaned against the telephone pole. The man shook his head. The ragman pressed him. Do you have a job? Are you crazy? Sneered the man. He pulled away from the pole, revealing the right sleeve of his jacket, flat, the cuff stuffed into his pocket. He had no arm. So said the ragman, give me your jacket, and I'll give you mine. The one-armed man took off his jacket, as did the ragman. I trembled at what I was now seeing. The ragman's arm stayed in its sleeve, and when the other man put on the ragman's jacket on, he now had two good arms, thick as tree limbs. Go to work, said the now one-armed ragman. Stumbling upon a drunk, the ragman found, lying unconscious beneath an army blanket, an old man hunched in a fetal position. He took the blanket, wrapped it around himself, but the drunk he left with new clothes. And now I had to run to keep up with the ragman. Though he was weeping uncontrollably and bleeding freely at the forehead, pulling his cart with one arm, stumbling from drunkenness, falling again and again, exhausted, looking older and sick, yet he moved with a steady pace. He eventually came to the city limits, and then he rushed beyond. I wept to see the change in this man. I hurt to see his sorrow, and yet I needed to see where he was going in such haste, perhaps to know what drove him onward. The ragman came to a landfill, the garbage pits. I wanted to help him in what he was attempting to do, but I hung back, hiding. He climbed a hill. With tormented labor, he cleared a little space on the hill. Then he laid down a pillowed head on a handkerchief and a jacket. He covered his bones with an army blanket, and then he died. How I cried to witness that death. I slumped over and wailed as one who has no hope. I had come to admire the ragman, and I sobbed myself to sleep. I did not know. How could I know? I slept through Friday night and through Saturday night too. But then on Sunday morning, I was wakened by a violently supernatural bright light. Light, pure bright, demanding light, slammed against my face. I blinked and looked and saw the ragman folding his blanket most carefully, a scar on his forehead, but alive. There was no sign of sorrow or age, and all the rags he had gathered shined, clean, cleansed, and bright. I walked up to the ragman and told him my name. I felt compelled to remove my clothes, and I said to him with longing in my voice, "Dress me." He dressed me. My Lord, he put new rags on me, and I am a wonder beside him. The ragman, the Christ. Going forth on that. He wants to take our pain, he wants to take our hurt, he wants to take the struggles, he wants to take the sickness, he wants to take everything from us and give us a new healing, a new presence, a new love, a new thing in our life. He wants to remove those things from us. But we have to let him into the room. We have to let him into our presence. We have to accept the new rags and the new healing that he has for us. He's willing to touch us. He's willing to give us the new clothes. He's willing to give us those new things, as in the ragman story. He is willing. But we have to bring it to him. We have to let him touch it. We have to let him heal it. We have to be willing to bring it unto him. Like the leper. No matter what it takes, come to him, bring it to him, lay it at his feet. And he is willing. He's stretching out his hand. He's still stretching out his hand to us. He's still reaching out. He's still reaching out to touch us as a leper, saying, I am willing to be cleansed. Let him clean you, let him wash you clean, let him touch you this morning by your presence. If you're here watching online this morning, you have that area that you never opened up, you never let him touch, you, as I shared, kept it excluded, kept it apart from everybody, kept it far away. Do not touch. Sign going forth. Let him touch it this morning. Open it up. Let him touch you. Let him heal you. Let him cleanse you this morning. Let him heal that pain, heal that situation, heal that sickness, heal that area that nobody knows about. Let him touch it this morning. Let him in to change your life going forth. That's why he went to the cross. The portraying of the ragman story going forth. Jesus did the same thing. He went up on the hill and died on the cross. So all our pain, all our sickness, all our sin in our life could be removed and we could be totally cleansed and dressed new. He is willing to touch you this morning. He is willing to change you. All you need to do is say a prayer. Come to him, say a prayer, and accept him into your heart, and he'll touch that situation. He'll heal you. He'll cleanse you and make you new. Need to come to him this morning. Just as that leper did, lay it at his feet and say, if you are willing, you can cleanse me, you can heal me, you can change the situation. And he is willing. So bring it to him this morning. You want to do that this morning? Pray along with me. Dear Lord, forgive me for being apart from you. Forgive me for excluding this area in my life. Forgive me for staying apart, far away from you, far away from everybody that could help, far away from every area of my life. Forgive me for being far away from you. I come to you this morning knowing that you are willing to forgive me, knowing that you are willing to cleanse me. I ask you to do that this morning. Forgive me of my sin. Cleanse me of everything that I've held on to. Forgive me of my sin. Forgive me of everything in my life that I have kept away from you, that I've kept hidden. Cleanse it this morning. Make it completely clean. I ask you to come into my heart and come into my life. I believe you died on the cross and rose from the grave so I could be made clean. By your death on the cross, I am clean. I am forgiven. And through your resurrection, I have eternal life. I ask you now to come into my life, make me completely clean, and lead me on the path that you have for me going forward. I ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. If you prayed that this morning, like the leper, Jesus touched, you are clean. You're completely cleansed. Jesus touched him, he was made completely clean. If you prayed that this morning, he's touched you and you're made completely clean. This morning, receive his forgiveness, receive the joy. He's come into your heart. Receive his presence in your life going forth. And if you prayed that this morning, I'd love to celebrate with you and help you on your new walk with the Lord. And if you don't have a Bible, contact us. We'd love to get one into your hands and help you grow in your walk with the Lord. You can contact me. I'd love to celebrate with you. All my info is at the top of the Facebook page there. Feel free to contact me and come and join us for a service on Sunday morning. We'd love to have you if you're in the Wellington area. or surrounding areas, come and join us. We'd love to have you be a part of our service. We're at 212 West Herrick Avenue in Wellington, Ohio. Service times are 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Have a great week, and God bless.